Hello everyone, how are you today? We hope you stay healthy and safe. In this video, we are going to present our discussion result about safety rules and regulation in industrial manufacturing. Before we start it, let us introduce our group member. The first is ZAYYAN AHMAD ARRAFI, second is me, Fiqih Kurniasandy, the third is MARETA PRISTIWANTI, and the last is SYEIDA RUSYDA. Manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industry is a branch of industry that operated equipment, machinery, and labor to process raw materials, spare parts, and other components. And the other explanation is already listed in the PowerPoint. In addition, a safety sign is also given as a safety communication tools to create a hazard that exists in the workspace. This aims to remind workers of what hazard exists and which tool should be used to minimize injury in the event of accident. Safety regulations in manufacturing industry are about 1. Workspace, 2. Warning signage, 2. Personal protective equipment, and the last is procedure of using production machine. Workspace. Workspace is any three. The one is confined space, the two is electrical, and the third is storage. Confined space. Confined space is a space that are large enough and spacious and allows workers to enter and work in it, and workers have access to enter and exit, which is limited and not designed for the workspace. The characteristic of a confined space are as follows: has limited opening for both entry and exit. There is a room to enter which is quite large or at least partially open, not designed for humans to be in it all the time, and the others. The characteristics are confined space according to OSHA or American OSH Agency. Confined space are follows: has a limited area and is configured so that the body of worker can enter and do their work. 2. Has limited doors to enter and exit. 3. Not designed for continuous work. Electrical. Electricity has long been recognized as a serious hazard in the workspace. Therefore, OSHA designed electrical standard to protect employees exposed to hazards such as electric shock, fire, and explosion. The general requirements for electricity are: 1. Employers must ensure that electrical equipment is free from known hazards that cause death or seriously physical injury to employees. 2. Electrical equipment must be securely attached to the surface on which is installed. 3. Parts of electrical equipment which is normal operation generates sparks, frames, or molten metal must be enclosed or separated and isolated from all combustible materials. And the next is storage. Storage is a place used for short or long-term storage of materials, product, and cargo in manufacturing or distribution facilities. Storage areas are usually designed according to the item to be stored in that place. And in the storage, all materials stored in tiers must be stacked, blocked, locked, or secured to prevent them from sliding, falling, or collapsing. Storage areas must be kept free from accumulation of materials that pose a tripping hazard, fire, explosion, or pest infestation. Covers and safety fence should be provided to protect workers from the hazard of open pits, tanks, barrels, trenches, and each other.
For the next slide is about warning signs in the manufacturing industry. First sign is about the danger electrical shock and buried cable. This danger electric shock sign reminds people to be cautious as there is a change and electric shock can occur whilst in this area. And the second sign is about a danger buried gas pipe. The primary function of these above-ground markers is to identify the location of the pipeline to help the public understand the location of pipelines and prevent excavation damage accidents. And the third sign is about a notice construction area. A construction area do not enter sign is a useful tool to help protect the health and safety of staff, and is not a substitute for necessary protective measures of lessening or eliminating hazard. The fourth sign is about danger crane swing. A signal sign that this crane is on operation over their head so they can be more carefully. And the fifth sign is about danger falling objects. Construction sites often cause loose rocks and falling debris. Warn passerby of potentially dangerous falling material. Falling material signs remove liability and help prevent accidents. And the sixth sign is about assembly point. The assembly point is a location where staff and visitors can gather in the event of an accident to ensure everyone is in a designated safe area. A assembly point signs help you make sure that people will know where to gather following an emergency evacuation. And then is about evacuation route sign. Emergency evacuation is the urgent immediate egress or escape of people away from an area that contains an imminent threat, an ongoing threat, or a hazard to lives or property. This sign serves to tell the location of the evacuation route. And the last is about high voltage sign. The term high voltage usually means electrical energy at voltage high enough to inflict harm on living organisms. Equipment and conductors that carry high voltage warrant particular safety requirements and procedures. In certain industries, high voltage means voltage above a particular threshold.
Personal protective equipment is equipment worn to minimize exposure to hazard that cause serious injuries and illness in the workplace. These injuries and illness can result from contact with chemical, radiological, physical, electrical, biological, mechanical, or other workplace hazard. Personal protective equipment that must be used while working is high visibility jacket. Protective coveralls were created to ensure a high level of protection during work activities. They cover or replace personal clothing, and their main purpose is to protect the worker from chemical, biological, mechanical, thermal, electromagnetic, and electrical hazard. The second is protective gloves or safety gloves. Safety gloves are personal protective equipment worn during work projects that cover and protect the hands from the wrist to the fingers. Work gloves are meant to save the user's hands and fingers from hazard, such as cut, blisters, splinters, skin punctures, or heat and chemical burns. Glove vary depending on the work environment. The third is safety shoes. Is a durable boot or shoes that has a protective reinforcement in the toe which protect the foot from falling object or compression, usually combined with a midsole plate to protect against punctures from below. The fourth is safety helmet. Safety helmet will protect the user head against impact from object falling from above by resisting the reflecting blows to the head hitting fixed dangerous object at the workplace. Dust mask. A dust mask is a flexible fat belt over the nose and mouth with elastic or rubber straps to protect against dust encountered during construction or cleaning activities, such as dust from drywall, bricks, wood, fiberglass, silica, or sweeping. The last is safety glass. Goggles or safety glass are a form of protective eyewear that usually enclose or protect the area surrounding the eye in order to prevent particulate water or chemical from shrinking the eyes.
And the last subbab is a procedure of using production machine. How to use production machine? The use of production tools and machine must be carried out in accordance with the applicable procedure in the company. Some things that must be considered before using the machine are: Number 1. Machine operation is carried out by trained and competent worker or machine operators must be given cursor or training on things that need to be done before operation, during operation and after operation in accordance with applicable regulation. This is done so that the operator can operate the machine according to the SOP that has been determined. Number 2, make sure all dangerous parts are protected. Before operating the machine, make sure all dangerous parts are protected. This protector serves as a cover for the dangerous part of the machine so as not pose a risk of injury to workers and also the work environment. And number 2, stop if the machine is not working properly. If the machine does not work properly, immediately stop operating the machine. This can be seen if part of the engine moves abnormally, there is a flag, hear a strange sound, smell something burning or something unusual, and or feel the engine not reversing as usual. Okay, and number 4, use appropriate personal protective equipment. During the operation of the machine, workers might be exposed to falling or flying objects, splash of liquid, or to dust, smoke, mist, vapor, or harmful gas resulting from the operation of production machine. Therefore, to protect workers, PPE is needed according to the type of work. PPE that can be used in the form of protecting clothing, anti-skid shoes, heat-resistant gloves, and other protective equipment such as helmets, safety glass, ear muffs or earplugs, and respirator. Okay, that is all from our discussion. Thanks for the time and attention. See you in the next discussion. Stay safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.